This is Jordan's Vision. Pull up a seat and kick up your feet. Welcome. How are we doing, guys? It's time for another episode of Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. Can you believe it? We are on Season 4, Episode 10. There are only 4 episodes remaining, including this one. Last episode, Episode 9, kind of broke me out of a slump, I think. I got my third perfect 5 out of 5 score. Very happy with that. I was kind of slumping. I'd gotten 2 4s to start the season, 2 3s to follow that up, and then out of the next 20 stories, I only got 6 right, including a 0 in episode 5. So my season total is now at 25 out of 45 stories correct, which is definitely closer to my average than I'd like it to be. Before that, it was 20 out of 40, which is completely half and half, so I'm happy to get above 500 like that, and hopefully I can keep that going and even raise my average a little bit further. So if you're not familiar with the show, we see 5 stories. We have to guess whether each one is either true or made up by the show's writers, and we see how many we get right. And without further ado, let's get into Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, Season 4, Episode 10. Here we go. Before I get started, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and don't forget reacting to art is sharing art. Channels like these benefit everyone from the viewers all the way up to the original creators themselves. Also, a reminder, spoilers are likely, so if you haven't seen this episode yet and would like to, please feel free to click off and take care of that first. I'll be here when you get back, but for those of you who are sticking with me, pull up a seat, kick up your feet. This is Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, Season 4, Episode 10. Let's see what we got. Here we go.
It measures precisely 13 inches. Now,
13?
Watch as I stretch it out.
Yeah, I can see that.
What does it measure now?
13 inches?
Exactly the same.
Oh, wow.
Nothing about its measurements are changing. Truth and illusion side by side, just as in tonight's stories.
That does make sense.
We'll tell you what appears true may in fact be false, and what appears to be a fabrication may not be a stretch at all.
Don't I know that? Watched the show almost 4 seasons now.
Does your computer ever seem to have a mind of its own?
God, yes.
Does it ever hide a file from you, or sometimes print a file you didn't ask for?
Yes, 1,000 times yes. Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Valerie Sims is going to take some time off to be alone with her thoughts, her hopes, and her computer.
I would too.
I'd been happily married for the past 18 years. I had a supportive husband and a great son. And then one day, out of the blue, I was hit with a full-blown midlife crisis. I had always wanted to be a writer, but I never seemed to have the time.
Go do it. I know the feeling now.
I knew I couldn't do it at home, so I rented a small house on Moonstruck Beach to try and knock out the great American novel.
I wonder if I've read this novel.
I was just having a little trouble getting started. It was amazing. When I was at home,
Writer's
I
block.
always had a million stories running through my head. Now I couldn't think of one.
That's because everything's happening there.
I've been working
Okay, who might that be?
My name's Jerry Corbin. I'm the caretaker around here. You need anything done?
No, everything seems to be fine.
Just trying to write.
If you need anything at all, just give a holler.
Thanks. I will.
Write about the handsome caretaker.
I took a long walk, hoping to break through my writer's block. And suddenly, I saw it.
Oh, whoa, what? That's not good. What you hope to discover in a peaceful walk. Where'd it go?
I could have sworn I saw a woman's body lying in that same exact spot. There was nothing there.
That might inspire a story, at least.
I needed to relax and figure out why I was seeing things.
Because you're on Beyond Belief. Oh, there's the printer. Is it speaking in tongues? Yeah.
As I caught the reflection in the glass, I clearly saw the name Deanna Lindsay. It was everywhere on the page.
Deanna Lindsay.
I kept asking myself over and over again, who was Deanna Lindsay? I didn't know anyone by that name.
The spirits might have named your character, at least.
Have you ever heard of a woman called Deanna Lindsay?
Deanna Lindsay? Yeah, sure. She rented this house about a year ago.
Oh.
It was terrible. I mean, she committed suicide. She jumped off the bluff, and they found her on the rocks.
That's where she saw the body.
Oh, I just remember reading something about it in the paper.
Oh, yeah. It was a big story around here. It's pretty sad. She was a real nice woman.
That's gotta be
I
messing
could
with her
not
mind.
get the image. Nothing was making any sense.
Have you seen this show? Oh. Oh, looks like it might say something. What does it say? Get out of the house, Jerry killed me. I thought Jerry seemed a little suspicious. You kind of have to be a major psycho to just kill women randomly.
A little car trouble, Mrs. Sims?
Oh, there's Psycho Jerry.
I told you get out of that car!
Like, what even brought this on? Like, dude's just a homicidal maniac, I guess.
The sheriff found Jerry Corbin lying in the driveway unconscious. He eventually admitted to pushing Deanna Lindsay off the bluffs and to the murder of 2 other women in the area. I went
gets
back home
around.
after that and wrote my first novel. I called it Moonstruck Beach.
Was it really the ghost of Deanna Lindsay who visited Valerie Sims?
Well, there's a cover, but it's
Could the
probably
printout have
made
been
for the
some sort of
show.
psychic or were the messages typed by Jerry Corbin? Was he playing some sort of twisted game? Whatever happened, 3 murders were solved and 1 was prevented.
Beyond belief, yep.
We'll find out if this story
All right, we'll
is
talk
true
about
or
it.
false.
I guess I've never heard of a novel that had that kind of plot. I'm sure I've seen novels that have similar plots, and maybe this could be it, because, they do change stuff. Just think about the realism for a minute. This lady a year ago was murdered by Jerry, and Jerry claimed it was a suicide. Valerie, this year, is out walking, and she thinks she sees a body. She goes down there, and the body isn't there. As it turns out, that's exactly where Deanna passed away, or had a little help passing away, I guess. It is kind of weird that she saw that before she even knew about Deanna, and she read the name on the printed sheet before she knew about Deanna too. So where did that come from? And where did the warning about Jerry come from? Jonathan mentioned maybe Jerry typed it up to mess with her, but I don't know why Jerry would type out a warning about Jerry. That kind of doesn't make sense. I mean, I could see some elements being true, but I don't know if I can put it all together into a realistic story. So I think I'm gonna mark the first one as fiction. Wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong, and if it is actually a true story, I'd kind of like to read that novel. Wonder what that novel actually is. So yeah, let's get to story number 2.
Hospital rooms can be drab, depressing places.
Yep.
That's why it's a thoughtful and helpful gesture to send patients gifts to cheer their spirits.
Yeah, of course.
Ruth Atkins is seriously ill in a room at Mercy Hospital. Nobody's sending anything to her room. Right now, Nurse Peyton is concerned.
Okay.
I never wanted to work in one of those sprawling medical centers where the patients were only referred to by their room number or by their insurance company billing ID.
Yeah.
So I was glad to find
We're
a
not
job at
numbers.
nursing.
Oh, we got
One
a
of
drop.
those patients was Ruth Atkins. She had arrived at the hospital in a comatose state due to acute blood acidosis.
So she's not even awake.
Sadly, she had no visitors in the 3 days since she'd been admitted.
I can kind of see it, like, if you're in this state. Like, I don't know how much
She's
she
not
can
getting
actually
any better.
receive, but
Her bl-
Well, it's likely she'll never come out of that coma.
It's just sad that she has to be alone at a time like this.
That's not
it,
what
it
you
would
know
suck for
if
the family to
anyone was
see
here.
her like that,
The hospital's been able to locate Mrs. Atkins' son.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Is he gonna come see her?
Well, he's in the Navy, stationed on a ship in the Bering Sea.
Oh, he's a
but
little
he is
far
trying
away
to
then.
arrange a-
I just pray that he gets here in time.
You'd think they'd be able to do that, but it is
was
far
later
away.
That same day when I saw a man visiting Mrs. Atkins.
Well, that's not a son.
Well, looks like Mrs. Atkins finally has a visitor.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. The hospital community liaison might have notified Mrs. Atkins' church.
Oh, maybe someone from there?
Yeah, he must be her minister.
He's got a Bible. Makes sense.
Looks like Mrs. Atkins' blood pressure has improved.
Maybe she can sense him.
As it turned out, Mrs. Atkins' improvement had been temporary. Her vital signs dipped back down during the night.
Maybe because the guy had to leave.
Prognosis wasn't promising, and her son hadn't arrived yet.
Bring back Mr. Churchman.
I know how much you root for all your patients, but it's gonna wear you down if you keep getting this emotionally involved with every patient that you care for.
I didn't.
To pull
I can
through
see both
this.
sides.
Well, I happen to believe in miracles.
You go, girl. And it's beyond belief, so you know there's gonna be one.
But then, just as before, Mrs. Atkins' condition suddenly improved.
Okay.
The man
he's back.
continued to- Eventually, she came out of her coma, baffling the doctors once again.
She's
When her
awake.
son arrived, we were able to greet him with the best possible news. His mother was headed for a full recovery.
They want
Not
to keep
bad.
an eye on. Joni, come in.
Hi, I just finished my shift, so I thought I'd drop by.
They're friends now.
Wow.
Some people from the church brought those by yesterday when they looked in
Oh.
on me.
There's Churchman.
I stopped by because I found your Bible in your room in ICU.
How on earth did it get there?
Oh, I think that your minister left it there.
My minister?
Oh, she wasn't awake for
My
it.
husband gave me this Bible. We used to go to church every Sunday.
Oh.
This is your husband.
Okay.
He has such a warm and comforting smile.
Well, that's
I
the
thought he was
guy.
your minister.
Martin was never in the clergy. He was a building contractor. Until he passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That man who was just here.
You're the first visitor I've had today, dear.
Minister Man was husband man. And a ghost.
After questioning her co-workers, Joni learned she was the only person who ever saw the man at Mrs. Atkins' bedside. Did Ruth Atkins' late husband actually return as an angel to visit her every day? Or was it Joni's own faith that permitted her to see a miracle?
Joni is the only person who saw this man. You know, maybe that picture was in her room before, and maybe she'd seen the guy before. I don't know why, if that was the case, that she'd think it was the minister, because that's definitely a picture of a husband and a wife. You know, if she didn't know that, I don't know why she'd think minister first before husband. But I don't know, I'm going off on a lot of tangents here. She is the only person who saw him, so it's in her own mind, and those visions of him kind of correspond with her improvement. You know what? I think, you know, because it's her own imagination, because it's not like everyone is seeing a ghost or something like that, I can kind of believe this. It's coincidence. It's not the most coincidence I've seen in the show. I think I can believe it. So, I'm going to mark this one as true. Okay, one of each. Story number 3. Oh. Looking sharp.
Biking?
Yeah.
Bikes like these are not only great exercise, they're made to go over rough terrain, hills, gullies, and streams.
I need a bike again.
Peter and Gary Villard are a father and son pair who love to go mountain biking. In fact, it's a family tradition. But as we all know, sometimes family traditions can turn into disasters.
Biking on a mountain can
Gary
be dangerous.
Villard every summer for the past 16 years, Gary had accompanied his father, Peter, on a mountain biking trip to Aspen.
All right.
This was the first time since he was 12 that Gary wasn't joining his father.
Stuck in the office.
Gary.
Yeah. He wants to be there.
Gary, are you with me here?
He's really not.
You should have gone trail biking with your dad.
I wish I could have, but all these orders came in. I had to be here.
Yeah.
Well, you're not exactly here.
You can do it from the mountains, can't you?
At that moment, Gary's two boyhood friends, CJ and Kenny, were leading the way.
So dad takes the friends, but the son has to stay home.
I hate to admit it, guys. That trail's getting tougher every year.
Yeah.
Gary heard you say that, he'd be all over your case.
Hell, well, don't tell him. He still thinks I'm indestructible.
Dude's getting older.
Sure, it's not the same without him.
Sure isn't. But some people have to work. Not like
Some
you two
people.
bums. You guys go ahead. I'm taking Loggers Line Loop.
Loggers Line Loop. It's gonna take an extra 2 hours.
I'm in no hurry.
Let's hope it works out for him, but knowing the show, probably not.
Peter was feeling empty without Gary and wanted some time to himself.
Ah, yeah.
But his decision to travel a separate trail would prove to be an important one.
He's navigating pretty well. Looks like a rough trail. Whoa, 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 whoa. What?
That's
And
weird.
Bike
What
just
happened?
appears in the office?
He could feel that he had shattered his left leg on impact and had probably broken several ribs.
Oh, that's gotta suck. So how do you contact anyone? Well, other than a bike in the office, I guess.
Gary, your waterfall just stopped.
Oh, maybe that bike was hanging there. I don't know. But still, the way it fell down like that.
The pump must...
Something's wrong with my dad.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
in trouble. I can feel it.
I'm sure everything's fine.
No, it's not.
It's been almost 2 hours. Peter's sure taking his time. You know that trail. Could be another hour before he gets down.
Yeah, they don't have the feeling, but Gary knows all. At least he's kind of free. He's not like stuck or anything, but can't stand up with those broken bones. Yeah, he's trying to forge a blanket for himself.
CJ. CJ, over here.
Oh,
Gary?
Gary made it?
Peter's in trouble.
What?
He went off the trail and he's hurt. Get a search party together now.
How do you know this?
Just do it, or Peter will die.
Because of beyond belief magic. Wait,
Come on, man, give me a phone!
so wait, did he just imagine Gary?
I'm all right, Gary.
Oh,
Oh, thank God.
I'd still be here if you hadn't come to Aspen.
What do you mean? I didn't come to Aspen.
wait, so he didn't actually go. So his spirit told them?
Gary insists he never went to Aspen that day. Did Gary's love and concern for his father subconsciously transport him to the scene?
Okay.
Or was it someone else who told CJ to organize a search party? If so, who wasn't.
If this
All
story
right, let's
is
talk.
true or false at the end of our
This
show.
one has kind of broken my brain a little bit. So apparently that bike was hanging up in the office, and it fell down from where it was hanging, and that's what alerted Gary, I guess. So it wasn't just a bike materializing. And we've heard stories before, and there's been stories on the show before of family members kind of knowing that something's going wrong with their other family member, and it happens. Like, people have vague feelings that they should check on their person or whatever, and it's a little strange when it's more specific. I don't know if this is real specific, but Gary does know that his father's biking, so if he has a feeling about his father, then that's probably what he's going to think, that he went off the trail or something like that. And then the friends at the bar, like, they think they see Gary, but it's not actually Gary there. He wasn't able to get a flight, so he was still stuck in the office. But it was the friends seeing Gary that alerted them to go look for the father, and he was able to be saved. First off, Gary knowing what happened, and second of all, the friends seeing Gary when Gary wasn't there. Can this in any way be believable? It did show us that, the person who told the friends about the father was not really lit up. Like, you couldn't really see his face, but they just assumed it was Gary. Maybe it could have been someone else. Maybe it was like a park ranger or something who knew who it was, and they saw him go off the track or something like that. I noticed that Gary said, "Peter's in trouble, not my dad's in trouble." So that would make sense if it was someone else. It was a little hard to make sense of, but now I think I can, and I'm going to mark it as true. All right, 2 more. Story number 4.
Are you careful with your personal records?
Yep, I
Many
try to
people
be.
have taken to using shredders like this one to destroy the papers they don't want lying around.
Yep, I got one.
Thieves and con artists can use discarded ATM receipts and utility bills to steal from you, even to assume your identity. This is an
Scary what can happen that way.
But even the most cunning crook can pick the wrong victim.
Okay. An identity theft story.
I never held an honest job in my life. I figured, why should I if I didn't have to?
Not really a
There's always
flex.
a news. They never take the time to shred their credit card and bank statements. They just throw them in the trash without a second thought. Like they were leaving them there just for me.
Dude's a snake, man.
It was easy work. And if I stayed smart, I figured I'd never get caught. Nice house.
I hate
up
this
in
guy
Hollywood
already.
Hill. All I needed was your canceled check or a credit card receipt. And I became you. At least long enough to transfer some of your money into my bank account.
Let this be a lesson. Always be
I was
yourself.
good at what I did.
Don't be other people.
Still hadn't made that one big score.
You gonna pretend to be a celebrity or something?
They'd been living there for over 2 weeks, but I only saw them come and go late at night. Just like me. She was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. First I thought they were father and daughter, but then it was Hollywood.
He was Hollywood, eh? Maybe it is actually a movie star.
I had a strict rule never to hit the garbage in my neighborhood, but I had to find out who they were.
The way this guy operates, he probably doesn't watch movies.
Wow.
Oh, it's a Swiss bank account.
I was pretty sure that even if the woman did see me, the darkness would have hidden my identity.
Oh, let's hope so, for your sake.
I found out that the man was a baron.
Baron?
Stokely Varadma. And he was loaded.
What's this guy doing in Hollywood?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in the account. The only problem was cracking the access code.
No, I guess there's some barons in Hollywood.
What is celebrating?
Oh, don't worry about it. I picked this girl up at a bar in Hollywood. I think her name was Brady.
Jan Brady? Marsha Brady?
Are you expecting someone?
Oh, wonder if that's the Baron.
Good evening.
Or the Baroness.
My name is Marta. I'm your neighbor from across the street.
Okay, I'm a little busy right now.
I have a business proposition for you.
Give me back my money?
Look,
I know what you've done. You've stolen money from Baron Varadma. What's going
It's not what it
on?
looks like.
Nothing.
You're not so great.
Off to pick up someone else.
So you gonna turn me in or what?
Quite the contrary.
Oh?
I want to be your partner.
Oh.
I want to get back at him, and I want my freedom.
Oh.
Right, so where do I fit in?
Little quid pro here?
I know where all his money is.
She knows some of it's in this house.
This is Varadma's main account.
There's $25 million in there.
Give me your account number, and I'll make the transfer.
You can do that? I hope these aren't real bank account numbers. Like probably not of these people, but of somebody.
Congratulations.
Some real thief might get some ideas. Hey, he's not dead yet.
Everything was happening so fast. I know we were kissing, but that's all I remember. I woke up on the floor, feeling like I'd been drugged.
How do you drug a kiss? Maybe there's a way.
I've decided to forget about the partnership and gain full control of the business.
Oh, careful who you do business with. Uh-oh. Looks like he's gonna be sick.
Took everything.
Wow.
Police showed up the next morning and arrested me for grand larceny. I knew Marta had turned me in. But that was not all that she did.
What? Tranquilizer dart or something? Oh, yeah. Oh, those are like vampire fangs.
Judge said I was insane, but he's wrong. I know what they really are and what they made me into.
Oh, now he's got fangs. Wow. This took a supernatural turn.
Is it possible? Wade did have those 2 puncture wounds on his neck, but maybe they were self-inflicted. And what about Wade's fangs? Were they real or porcelain caps? Maybe Wade had one more con up his sleeve to cop an insanity plea so he wouldn't do time in prison.
That might
Put
do
the
it.
light on you?
Okay, a lot in that story. You think it's just a regular story about a scammer, and then the Baroness shows up and, says, I'm going to be your partner, and then all of a sudden they start kissing, and then he blacks out and, wakes up with these vampire fang wounds on his neck and eventually sprouts some fangs himself. So, seems like a regular fraud story, but they throw a little vampire at the end. I probably could have believed the fraud stuff. Like there was nothing out of the ordinary about that. There have been a few stories on this show about vampires. I mean, I don't think vampires are real. But there are people that act like vampires, like drink blood and stuff, but they don't actually have fangs. I'm having a hard time with this one, and I mean, this is one that like 80% of the way through, I saw nothing out of the ordinary, really. I mean, if this is a real story, I'd like to know who the people really are. I know there's a few barons in Hollywood, like Laurence Olivier was a baron. Yeah, the vampire stuff for me is a little too much. I think I'm gonna fiction this one. We got one more, then we get our answers, so let's see what this last story is.
Next. Ah, the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
Time of Woodstock, love beats, peace rallies. They say if you can remember the 60s, you weren't really there.
I'm not that old.
Jared. And these 2 flower children are about to find a path strewn with thorns.
This is the vibe right here.
Peace.
The dude's hair is so not real.
It was the summer of love, and we were crazy about each other. We were on our way home to Petaluma, California, after spending the weekend in Haight-Ashbury, where it was all happening.
They're a cute couple, though.
We hitched everywhere, to love-ins, to peace rallies, to rock concerts. But
third time's a charm?
Why don't they stop?
There's bad vibes in the air. Everyone must be a little uptight today.
Some people don't like hippies.
Hey, baby, I am starving. You got any more like granola left?
Actually,
No, I don't want granola.
we ate it all.
Uh-huh. A little too much of the munchies. There we go.
Finally.
Third time is a charm.
Far out car.
This is the right road to Petaluma?
Yeah, straight ahead.
That's where we're going.
Oh, were you gonna do it? Oh, she just wanted directions.
That's a real bummer.
What a bitch. I mean, I can understand if you don't want strangers in your car, but that was a real fake out.
Hey, you 2 need some help finding something?
No, we're cool.
He's watching them. Thinks they're probably shoplifters.
So I decided to liberate some food for the cause.
Well, I guess they are.
You gonna pay for that stuff?
Well, I hope so. Yep. I guess not. Oh, has he got a shotgun?
He's got a gun!
Yep.
Get in! It's running!
Is that the same lady in the phone booth? Yeah, that's her.
The owner of the store called the cops, and 20 miles down the road, they caught up with us. Being arrested for shoplifting and stealing a car was bad enough. But what happened next?
Wait. The car had a body in here. The car had a body in it.
What? All we did is list some food, and the guy had a shotgun, so we took the car, but we didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, it's not their car. So why is there a body in that car?
Lots of people hated hippies back then, and we were found guilty of murder in the 2nd degree. Ginny and I spent the next 5 years in prison while we appealed the case.
Oh, no.
We were finally able to get a new lawyer, and he got us a new trial. Because of
Yeah.
a lack of evidence, the verdict was overturned and we were freed.
Well, that's good.
Jenny and I, as soon as we got out of prison, we got married and opened a small health food restaurant with money from our parents.
The new
So
haircuts.
we splurged and bought ourselves a used Mustang convertible.
Jared, what are you doing?
Used. I hope there's not a body in that car.
You remember how hard it is sometimes to get a ride?
Right.
So they're picking up a hitch now.
Where you headed?
It's down
Oh,
the
who
road
are
a few
you?
miles.
Oh, get in.
That's not her again, is it? It's not the same hair.
Get out of the
Uh-oh.
car.
Man, take it easy. We don't want any
Shut
trouble.
up! Just get out.
It looks like the same face, though. Yep, it's definitely her.
They caught the woman the same day and we got our car back. After we gave testimony at her trial, the old murder case was reopened. Fingerprints were found on a tire iron that matched the tattooed woman's.
Could the same woman have shown up again years later and encounter the same couple?
Small town, I guess.
Do you reject this segment as just another lie? Or will you give this piece a chance?
Give peace a chance. All right. I read a lot of true crime, and I don't remember a story that went exactly like that. You know, a lot of stuff probably happened in the 60s and stuff. You know, maybe some stuff that got buried in the papers or whatever. But it was a long time ago. I don't remember hearing a story like that, but I guess it's possible. You know, like hitchhikers down on their luck, you know, they catch a ride. I guess they catch up with that lady who, it was probably a good thing that she refused to pick them up because, you know, she ended up being psycho. You know, they find a body in the car and, you know, they think the hippies did it. And, you know, after 5 years of being in prison and an appeal, they finally get out. You know, they settle down. They finally do have a car. They're married now. And they get pulled over by the same woman. They don't recognize her at first. She does look different. But they recognize her tattoo. With the description they gave, they're able to get their car back and they're able to solve that first murder finally. So as much as I haven't heard a story like that before, I don't think it's impossible. I don't know how big Petaluma is, I guess, but they all frequent the area, I guess. So it's probably not a real strange thing that, you know, they run into each other again. Yeah, I think I'm going to mark the last one as true. All right, and I can see I've got the exact same pattern as I had the last episode. Marked stories 1 and 4 as fiction, and stories 2, 3, and 5 as true. The same pattern as last one, and that got me a 5 out of 5. So I don't know if they'd use the same pattern again, two shows in a row, but that's just the feeling I got, so let's see how I did.
Now let's look back at tonight's stories and find out which ones are inspired by actual events and which ones are totally false. What about the woman whose computer seemed to channel the spirit of a murder victim?
So I said fiction here. Get out of the house, Jerry killed me.
Was this a true story?
Was it?
It's an exercise in creative writing.
Creative writing.
False.
All right, got that right?
How about the story of the patient who was visited by the ghost of her dead husband?
Well,
And I said true on this one.
Huh. Looks like Mrs. Atkins' blood pressure has improved.
Do you think you've heard a story like this before? You might have.
Might
It's
have.
true.
It's true. All right.
According to our research, a similar story happened in the Pacific Northwest in the late 80s.
All right. 2 for 2 so far.
Let's look again at the son who saved his father through an out-of-body experience.
I also said this was
over
true.
here. Gary? Is that you?
Yeah, you can't see his face. Yeah.
Come on, man,
Who's
get
gone?
your phone.
Was this story true? Yes.
Yes?
It was based on a similar event that took place around Colorado about 20 years ago.
All right. Again, I've got the first 3.
How about the
Keep
con
it going.
man who met his match in a couple of neighborhood vampires?
And I said fiction on this. And...
Did a similar story to this one take place?
Did it?
Could be, but we made this one up.
All right. Am I going to get 2 5s in a row? I've got
Let's have
4
one
so
more look
far.
at the strange story of the 60s couple who encounter their nemesis again years later.
Where you headed?
All right.
Down the road a few miles.
If this is true, I have 2 straight 5 out of 5s.
It was her.
I can't believe it.
Did you guess it was true?
Did I?
You're right. The story spans a 5-year
2 straight
period
5 out of
covering
5s.
from Northwest California to Eastern Canada.
I was not expecting that at all.
So were things black and white tonight? Or did they seem to be varied shades of gray?
They were pretty black and white for me tonight. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to my reaction to Season 4, Episode 10 of Beyond Belief. I can't believe I got 2 5s in a row. Like, must be my lucky day, must be my lucky couple of days, I guess. Because, wow. Yeah, this brings my season total to a 30 out of 50. Yeah, with 3 episodes left, I only need 6 to match my previous season total now. So, getting those 2 5 out of 5s definitely brought me back on the right track after a bit of a slump. So, it was even on this exact same pattern, too. Back-to-back shows. I had stories number 1 and story number 4 is fiction, and the other 3 is true, and, both times got me a 5 out of 5. Can't believe they went with the same pattern, 2 shows in a row, but ended up working for me. So we have 3 episodes to go. Will I make it 3 in a row? I guess we'll see when we do Season 4, Episode 11, but that will wait until next time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out my sports vlogging channel, JordangeVision Sports. And until next time, this is Jordan saying you can be productive sitting at home on your couch. All you need is a TV, a great catalog, and a vision. This has been JordangeVision. Have a good one, guys. Take care, and bye-bye.